Hello and welcome back to Sir JCTV. My name is John Carlo B. Gorospe, a senior high school teacher, Brigada Eskwela coordinator, Filipino focal person, school information coordinator, school paper advisor at Bonifacio G. Suleiman High School, formerly Valenti High School, and I'm one of our school's division writers. I'm currently taking up Master of Arts major in English at Aurelio University. Today, we embark on a fascinating journey into the world of ethical theory. In this episode, we're diving deep into the two intriguing ethical theories, the virtue theory and feminist theory. Before we formally begin with our discussion, let me share with you the objectives of our lessons. For the first lesson, the virtue theory, here are the lesson objectives. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to first, articulate a clear understanding of virtue theory, its central principles, and its emphasis on character traits rather than rigid rules in ethical decision-making. Number two, or second, examine the significance of virtues in ethical frameworks. And lastly, the third one, understand the relevance of virtue theory in a business context, emphasizing its alignment with mentorship and leadership. For the second lesson, the feminist theory, by the end of this lesson, you will be able to first, define the fundamental principles of feminist ethics, including the critique of gender biases in traditional moral frameworks and the emphasis on inclusivity and equality. Second, learn to critically examine the concept of femininity as a learned social construct and its historical impact on limiting female autonomy. And lastly, the third one, explore the debates surrounding gender binarism, essentialism, and the development of alternative ethical systems rooted in women's perspective. Our exploration begins with a quote that has resonated through the ages. Character is destiny. These words by the ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus beautifully encapsulate the essence of virtue theory. It's a theory that suggests our character, our virtues, and moral qualities shape the course of our lives. Virtue theory, as the name suggests, places a significant emphasis on character rather than a set of rigid rules. It asks us to consider whether our actions reflect virtues, character traits such as bravery, generosity, or compassion. To guide us on this ethical journey, virtue theory offers two approaches. Firstly, it asks, what character traits are essential for thriving and leading a good life within a healthy community? Secondly, it encourages us to look up to virtuous individuals, real or idealized, as examples to emulate. The core of this theory are virtues, positive character traits like honesty and generosity. These virtues strike a balance between two extremes. We have deficiency or defect and excess or vice of a particular trait. For instance, courage lies in the virtuous middle ground between cowardice and rashness. But how do we develop these virtues? Virtue theorists stress that virtues are habits acquired through repetition. Each virtuous action makes it easier to act virtuously in the future. This theory underlines the importance of individual actions, making it clear that unethical behavior, like lying, isn't just about its consequences, but also its potential to form harmful habits. In the world of business, virtue theory is highly relevant. Senior leaders recognize that setting a virtuous example can influence their teams, fostering the development of similar character traits. It's all about leading with integrity and ethics. So, there we have it. Virtue theory, an ethical framework that asks us to be mindful of our character, our virtues, and the impact that they have on our lives and society. Now, let's shift gears to a theory that has been a driving force behind the pursuit of equality and inclusivity: the feminist theory. Feminism is the radical notion that women are people too. This quote by Mary Scheer powerfully captures the essence of feminism: the radical idea that women are people too, deserving of equal rights and recognition. Feminist ethics is a multifaceted movement within feminism that critically examines the impact of gender on moral beliefs and practices. It challenges the historical marginalization of women's perspectives and interests in ethics, where the male perspective often dominated. Central to feminist ethics is the concept of the feminine, challenging the notion that femininity is inherent and instead seeing it as a learned social construct shaped by traditional gender roles and norms. One significant contribution of feminist theory is the ethics of care. Championed by Carol Gilligan, this approach values caring relationships and individual interest over abstract principles, recognizing the complexity of real-life situations. Intersectionality, another vital concept, emphasizes how various aspects of individual or identity intersect. It promotes solidarity among oppressed groups and fosters a more inclusive ethical framework. So, in summary, feminist theory challenges traditional norms, advocates for inclusivity, and contributes significantly to the pursuit of social justice and equality for all, regardless of gender identity. For our assessment, here are the essay questions for both the virtue theory as well as the feminist theory. For the virtue theory, number 1, describe the central principles of virtue theory, emphasizing its focus on character traits over strict rules in ethical decision making. Number 2, explore the role of virtues within ethical frameworks. Explain how virtues such as bravery, generosity, and compassion contribute to ethical decision making. And number 3, investigate the relevance of virtue theory in the context of business leadership and mentorship. How can senior business leaders embody virtuous character traits to positively influence their teams and organizational culture? Provide real-world examples to support your analysis. For the feminist theory, number 1, defined the fundamental principles of feminist ethics, highlighting its critique of gender biases in traditional moral frameworks and its emphasis on inclusivity and equality. Number 2, discuss the concept of femininity as a learned social construct and its historical impact on limiting the female autonomy. Explore how traditional gender roles and norms have shaped the perception of femininity and its implications for women's agency. And then the third one, examine the debates surrounding gender binarism and essentialism within feminist ethics. Provide examples of these alternative ethical systems to illustrate their application. To support my claims earlier, and to have further knowledge about our lessons for today, here are videos that I got from YouTube. So watch and learn.
Virtue ethics. Virtue ethics is a philosophy developed by Aristotle and other ancient Greeks. It is the quest to understand and live a life of moral character. This character-based approach to morality assumes that we acquire virtue through practice. By practicing being honest, brave, just, generous, and so on, a person develops an honorable and moral character. According to Aristotle, by honing virtuous habits, people will likely make the right choice when faced with ethical challenges. To illustrate the difference among three key moral philosophies, ethicists Mark White and Robert Arp refer to the film The Dark Knight, where Batman has the opportunity to kill the Joker. Utilitarians, White and Arp suggest, would endorse killing the Joker. By taking this one life, Batman could save multitudes. Deontologists, on the other hand, would reject killing the Joker simply because it's wrong to kill. But a virtue ethicist would highlight the character of the person who kills the Joker. Does Batman want to be the kind of person who takes his enemies' lives? No. In fact, he doesn't. So, virtue ethics helps us understand what it means to be a virtuous human being. And it gives us a guide for living life without giving us specific rules for resolving ethical dilemmas.
The word feminism was coined in the 19th century by French philosopher and socialist Charles Fourier. But while feminists all seek equality between the sexes across political, social, and cultural spheres, there is no one type of feminism. The author Rebecca West wrote in 1913, "I myself have never been able to find out precisely what feminism is. I only know that people call me a feminist whenever I express sentiments that differentiate me from a doormat." The first wave of feminists fought for women to be able to vote and own property. Until these gains were made, largely in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, women often needed male guardians to transact business on their behalf, which was particularly galling if your guardian was an idiot. In 1949, the brilliant French philosopher Simone de Beauvoir published The Second Sex. She argued that one is not born, but rather becomes a woman. This was good news for those who felt constrained by the expectation that women should be quiet and nice. Beauvoir's critics, and feminism's critics, have often said that anger is not very ladylike. This is no bad thing. Who wouldn't rather be a woman than a lady? Feminism has gradually shifted for women around the world to advocate many different kinds of change, like equal pay and reproductive freedom. Most recently, social media has become a crucial tool for raising awareness and encouraging debate. Feminist campaigns to combat female genital mutilation, to acknowledge the contributions made by women in the past, and to speak out against sexual abuse in all its forms have filtered into mainstream cultural discourse. At the end of 2017, Time magazine named women who had broken their silence on sexual assault as its Person of the Year. There is still a long way to go before men and women have full equality all over the world, and resistance to this idea has not disappeared. Perhaps feminism boils down to the words of Dorothy Parker, who once said, "My idea is that all of us, men as well as women, whoever we are, should be considered as human beings."
I was appointed 6 months ago, and the more I've spoken about feminism, the more I have realized that fighting for women's rights has too often become synonymous with man-hating. If there is one thing I know for certain, it is that this has to stop. For the record, feminism, by definition, is the belief that men and women should have equal rights and opportunities. It is the theory of the political, economic, and social equality of the sexes. I started questioning gender-based assumptions a long time ago. When I was 8, I was confused being called bossy because I wanted to direct the plays that we would put on for our parents, but the boys were not. When at 14, I started to be sexualized by certain elements of the media. When at 15, my girlfriends started dropping out of their beloved sports teams because they didn't want to appear muscly. When at 18, my male friends were unable to express their feelings. I decided that I was a feminist, and this seemed uncomplicated to me. But my recent research has shown me that feminism has become an unpopular word. Women are choosing not to identify as feminist. Apparently, I am among the ranks of women whose expressions are seen as too strong, too aggressive, isolating, and anti-men, unattractive even. Why has the word become such an uncomfortable one? I am from Britain, and I think it is right that I am paid the same as my male counterparts. I think it is right that I should be able to make decisions about my own body. I think it is right that women be involved on my behalf in the policies and the decisions that will affect my life. I think it is right that socially I am afforded the same respect as men. But sadly, I can say that there is no one country in the world where all women can expect to receive these rights. No country in the world can yet say that they have achieved gender equality. Thank you very, very much.
There we have it, our exploration of virtue theory and feminist theory. Two distinct ethical perspectives that remind us to consider our character and to champion equality and inclusivity in our ethical decisions. Thank you for joining us today on Sir JC TV. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And remember, in the realm of ethics, character truly is destiny, and feminism reminds us that equality is the path we should all walk together. Thank you, and until next time.